Batman 122, Joshua Williamson writing with Howard Porter on the art. So this is part two of Shadow War. Obviously, we had the
Mhm.
assassination of Ra's al Ghul last issue, and about five different people all saying they're going after Deathstroke for doing the deed.
Yeah.
And of course, the real Deathstroke going, wait a minute, that wasn't me.
No, man.
So that's where we left off last time. So this issue's got a lot of the investigation, Batman snooping around, trying to figure out things. Already suspecting that it's not really Deathstroke because, I think the way Batman may be leaning right now, or at least he was until the end of the issue, where Talia seems to convince him otherwise, is that maybe Talia's behind it, and like she gets, because Deathstroke doesn't miss. If Deathstroke was going to kill Talia, he'd have hit.
Right.
So, my suspicion on that right now is that whoever's impersonating Deathstroke wants to implicate Talia, and that's why he shot her in the shoulder, or wherever he hit her.
Because in Deathstroke Inc., the issue before all this started ended with the Legion of Doom. So I'm sure this has something to do with them and implicating Deathstroke and keeping their hands clean, or so they say. So yeah, and I just Deathstroke bonding automatically with Respawn just cracks me up. Deathstroke just wants kids. He's gonna lose them. He'll just find new ones.
People say about Deathstroke, but literally for like as long as he's been a thing, his relationship with kids have kind of defined him.
Yeah, but I just love like there was no hesitation that automatically this is now his new son, and he's gonna treat it as such. And it does make him more akin to Batman, right? Like
there's got that parallel with it, yeah.
Yeah, so I like that, and with Roz and Legacy and Talia, and it just feels like it's following the same trend, which I do like.
Yeah, I mean, apparently this imposter used something to drill a giant tunnel into the city, so
that no one noticed.
Yeah, that stuck out to me as being a little weird. Maybe it'll make more sense once we realize who's helping him, or like like if he's working with like an alien or something that has the tech that could do this. But right now,
all I could think of was the big machine from one of the Ocean's movies.
It's not even like that close to the city. It's quite a bit out.
Yeah.
But it's huge.
No, if I was to compare it to Earth, and it's like the end of Predator 2 when you realise that the Predator ship like sort of like landed in the sewers and made this big tunnel kind of thing. It's sort of like drilled in.
It's what they drive in the Ninja Turtles.
Technodrome.
Thank you.
Well, no, he's talking about the takes him from the Technodrome with the drill on it, right?
The drill, yeah. The little one.
Technodrome's a big,
Yeah. But they have the one with the drill, don't they?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Okay. So Batman's investigating around as his chase. Deathstroke's fighting for his life because the ninjas have all shown up.
Prometheus nopes the hell out of there.
Yep. Angel Breaker's the assassin leading this charge and actually kills one of his guys who heroically stays back to hold back the ninjas and gets his face sliced off.
Yeah, Deadline, I believe.
Yeah, I could have told you that, so I'm glad you knew that, Matt. Deathstroke jumps out the window with Respawn just in time as a missile's hitting the building to make it go boom. And it's a very fun action. Honestly, my favourite little scene in the whole issue is probably where Damien comes to get Rose at the bar. And you don't see him. I think this is just a great introduction where you just hear a bouncer say, "Hey kid, you can't be in here, you look too young." I'm like, looks too young? He's like 12, of course he's too young.
Yeah.
This just looks too young. I'm getting flashbacks of Hot Fuzz. When's your birthday? May 17th? What year? Every year. But you just hear, you want to see my ID, and you just hear like a thud and a crack and a pow, and in walks Damien. But the reason why I like this scene so much is, I mean, I like the introduction to Damien, but it's actually just the fact that he starts making this speech about how he's going after Deathstroke, and Rose just says, "Shut up, Robin. Let's go kill my dad."
Yep.
Like, just doesn't need to hear the explanation. She's just, she's sick of his shit. It's time to go. So here's the questions. Obviously, we had I think it was Bogdanovich on the first issue, and it was great art all the way through. Obviously, Porter's a bit of a shift in terms of style.
That's my biggest problem. I mean, I'm recognized as not being like the biggest Porter fan ever, but I don't hate it. I do hate the context of back to back because I actually read these, straight into each other because I
You got
didn't read my
Whiplash.
books last week, and this is how it's going to be in the trade. Going one into the next, and it's horrible. Like it's so jarring.
I like Howard Porter a little bit more than you. Right? We've talked about this when we were both reading Deathstroke Inc. I don't feel Porter's a fit for Batman.
I feel the scenes as well with like the title page with Deathstroke and all the others fighting all the ninjas. Oh, it's so messy.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on.
Yeah, I would say I lean towards the positive, but I do think there's some messy or rushed elements here or there in this issue. I think it's got a nice stylized look. I'm even fine with it being a Batman comic. It's more just that it's part 2 and follows on from a different artist that doesn't fit with.
That is my biggest problem with it.
But I will say the reason why I brought it up particularly now, because I just turned the page and I'm at, it's Batman going to like see Talia. There's a couple of ninjas on this page. The one in the foreground is fine, bit stylized, but fine. The one in the background looks like E.T. or something walking towards the panel. It's the same with you see the Batwing going past the moon. On the top left of the page, sorry. And there's
I see it.
And there's like 2 ninjas. One's coming down the stairs, and he looks alright. But the one in the background, he's got like this weird body shape, and he looks like he's from the planet Zathras or something.
I really like. In contrast, I really like the next page, Batman with the sigh and the cape flowing, and it's so dark and heavy on the inks. That's where Porter excels on a Batman comic. Is moments like that.
Yeah. Plus, Batman is bonded with Raphael. That's canon. So he likes those sigh. Good stuff. So we got a bit of an action scene, and he goes out to confront Talia, and he's there to kind of accuse her, thinking that she may have something to do with it because the person currently assumed to be Deathstroke didn't kill her, but she fairly easily seems to convince him that it's not her, and she actually kind of breaks down, and she's still hurt because she's not used the Lazarus Pit. She says she doesn't trust him. And she kind of shows a little bit of vulnerability talking about her father. The idea that she's this tough badass because she's Talia, right? But the second that he asked to turn themselves in, she kind of went along with it. She became her father's daughter again. And it leads to this sort of tender moment where he takes off his cowl, or she takes off his cowl, I should say, and they end up kissing. We end the main story here with them smooching, with the shadow hitting the big symbol in the background.
With some very long bat ears for the shadow, despite not wearing the cowl. Artistic license, I know, but
yeah.
Well, yeah. That's what it is.
Selena's gonna be so pissed.
So, yeah. Obviously, I mean, I really liked last week's. I think last week's issue was a really nice surprise and really set up all the story beats that it wants to play with. This by its nature is a second part, and I think it's got some fun scenes. I kind of generally like the fact that it's dealing with Bruce and Talia and sort of dipping their toes back into that. I'm looking forward to more Damien and Rose. So
I hope they kind of go more the co-parenting angle with Talia and Bruce, just because I do like that. I like that angle where it was one of the strong moments of Tom King where they went there to basically let Talia know that they're done and that him and Selena are together. So I kind of just like that he is just with Selena now, regardless of where she's at. So but here I do like this. I like this tease here.
Yeah, I don't necessarily suspect this is trying to set up that there's going to be like a proper romance, but it's more just it's a moment of emotion for both of them. Her in particular, he's she's the one making all the moves here. She takes down his kill, she touches his chest.
If you even look at that last page, his eyes are open, almost like he's shocked.
Yeah.
So, but no, I do like that, and it feels like this is softening Talia just a little bit from her being this maniac leader of a terrorist organization to, that's my kid's mom. I don't mind that,
unless they're doing it, she's playing an angle, and this is all just trying to convince.
Of course,
she's not
that's
behind.
always her, right? She is the demon's head now too, so
she's got the fancy green cape to prove it.
Yeah, she does. But yeah, no, I think that last page really is some of the strongest stuff, just because the ears notwithstanding, but just the way that that's composed, I think it's a really cool, neat image.
Yeah. And I think this, the to be continued in Deathstroke Inc. It's comforting that it's making it very clear that all 3 plot lines are going to continue. It's not just going to suddenly just become the focused on Deathstroke. Yeah,
right.
Because it'd be jarring, I think, to us who are not reading Deathstroke Inc.
It might have a slight more focus on that, in the same way that this issue probably does have a slight focus on the Batman plot.
Right.
But we start and end on that,
and that's fine. But I don't want it to feel like it's just a regular issue of Deathstroke Inc. that happens to be set during the event, as opposed to the next actual chapter, which is, if you're just buying it because it's part of the crossover, then that's kind of what you're wanting more so. So
yeah, it definitely feels like it's going to be parts of a story as opposed to tie-ins.
Yeah, and it helps that he's doing all of them, so it's not like he has to shift anything. He's used to writing Robin-focused stuff for Robin and Deathstroke. It's not like they're bringing a writer in for these issues.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I actually did read the backup on this one.
Oh.
Well, it was Williamson writing it, and I was curious. Hearsay.
Oh, you said you did or you didn't?
I did.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't. And I'm like, oh man.
No, I did.
Gotcha.
Did Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically because I noticed it was Williamson. I went, oh, maybe this is relevant, and it kind of is thematically, because sometimes when they're doing a story, like sometimes we'll feel like they put in like a needless flashback to like an early part of Batman's career that relates to who he's interacting with. I kind of liked it here. They just said, oh, that can just be the backup. I wanted to do like an early, Batman meets Deathstroke story, but I'll do it in the backup.
Which I was kind of into it until the last page, and then I was like, I'm kind of out of it.
I kind of agree. The last page made me go, oh, this is something very different. Because I thought this was going to be about, okay, this is Deathstroke's first interaction with Batman. There's a hit out on Robin, which is, young Dick Grayson. And
there's the scene of, they're having the first sparring, and he's like, oh, this is where you learn all these moves from.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I recognize Descartes' teachings. I recognize So-So's teachings.
Ted Grant.
Yeah. Ted Grant was his name drop there, actually.
Yes, it was.
But then the reveal at the end is because he's trying to figure out, who hired you, Deathstroke, who hired you. And when he takes off his mask, he's got a Joker smile, and he says, yeah, whoever it was couldn't stop laughing. And it's like, oh wait, he's been Jokerized.
It's so much less interesting.
Yeah,
like immediately.
Yeah,
it just went. Oh, okay.
So how am I defending the Joker thing here? I feel like this ends with them both going after Joker because Slade has a healing factor, right?
That is probably where it ends.
But... Like, it feels like he'll metabolize the toxin, and this will end up being a Deathstroke Batman team up. And I feel that's kind of shading where Shadow War is.
I mean, there's not a lot of time left, though, because this...
Because it's going to be like a 2-part little thing, right? Or is it 3?
Yeah.
Maybe 3, I think, because Williams is only on the book for another, 2 issues, I think.
Couple.
So...
Yeah.
I just think as well, like that's fine if that's the story they're going for, but it's a less interesting story than just Batman versus Deathstroke early days. And I think for me, paralleling that like with the present day and showing that, okay, this is where they were and this is where they are now, that's a more interesting change.
Yeah, the only argument I could think of, because to me this ending kind of stops it from paralleling the main story. But the one argument I suppose you could say that it might still connect up with it thematically is that Joker using Deathstroke in this way in the past was also kind of similar to there being an imposter Deathstroke. And that
maybe this is all just setting up that the imposter Deathstroke is actually Joker.
That'd be something. That would.
I'm just terrified. I just threw that out there as a joke, and if that's true, I'm terrified.
No, because I think Williamson. Better than that. At least I hope he is.
I'll tell you right now, if they reveal towards the end of this, if it probably won't be the last issue, but probably the penultimate or whatever issue, if they reveal that Joker's the fake Deathstroke and it's all a Joker thing, I'll give that issue a 1 out of 10. Regardless of anything else in that issue, I'll give it a 1 out of 10.
You see the Deathstroke mask get ripped and there's just green hair sticking out. No,
it could be Doink. It could be Doink from wrestling.
For the record, that wasn't an actual prediction. Just to make that very clear.
Don't tempt fate.
I'm not expecting it, but now I've put that in the world. I'm I can't be 100% sure that's not what Williamson's going to do.
I think if he was going to do that, he wouldn't have this in the backup, revealing it.
But that's how you do your thematic foreshadowing. It's like you show one here and then you show the other. Yeah,
he's double bluffing. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was interesting enough. I like Gordon asking like about how the Robin's used, and Deathstroke saying, the only thing you've done that's impressed me so far is using the kid for bait. When that ties into the whole, comparing Bruce and Slade when it comes to how they handle kids and the Robins versus his family members. So, but yeah, it was all right. I was actually enjoying it well enough, and then the last page did kind of sell me a little bit, but I'll see what they do with it. I'll still read the next part because
because it's there.
Yeah. Sometimes a backup you don't want to read can feel like a chore. This was not a chore to read.
It was also pretty short, I think. Or at least it felt shorter than most backups. I don't know if it actually was.
No, I don't think it was.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. Matt, what are you giving the main story?
Main story, I'm going to give a 7.5.
Backup?
7.
All right. Cara, main story?
I'm going to go with just a 7, but with the caveat that I did read it directly after the alpha issue, so that it was a bit more jarring.
Sure. Backup?
Probably a 6 because of the last page.
Yeah, main story for me. Yeah, a couple little things in the art I wasn't keen on. It's definitely jarring, like switching to Porter from Bogdanovich. But I like everything it's doing, but it's definitely not like I thought. The first issue like had lots of little setups and payoffs, and what it introduced as the start of the story was a nice big gut punch that felt like it was really trying to do something and advance the status quo forward. By its nature, the second issue is just a fine second issue, so I'll probably agree with the 7, I think. But I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to see what they do. So there you go. The backup, yeah, like a 6, maybe 6.5. That'd be.